Welcome to the Strong Enough podcast, where we talk about the challenges and celebrate the triumphs of people from all walks of life. I'm your host, Claudia. Today, I have an amazing treat for you guys in the form of 4 lovely women who are part of my Super Women Unite group. They're going to share with you why it's so important to recognize your own superpowers and why you need a group of your own superpower supports. Please help me welcome Erika Grant, Laura Hattrup, Bonnie MacWalter, and Gail Suitor. Ladies, I am so excited to have you all here today for so many reasons. The first is this is the biggest crowd of guests that have ever been on the show. So I'm super excited about that, but I'm even more excited about sharing you guys with the world. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to have you introduce yourselves, tell the audience a little bit about you, and then we're going to take it from there. So Laura, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Laura Hattrup. I am a clinical social worker. I'm licensed in the state of Kansas and in Missouri. And that's all I have to say. I'm so sorry.
You know what? That's enough for now because we're going to dig in deeper. And you know what? I like it when a guest makes me work a little bit harder to get the info out of them. So challenge accepted. Erika, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Erika Grant. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist based in Tampa, Florida area. And I mostly work with high achieving women, basically uncover their hidden subconscious blocks.
Nice. I love it. Bonnie, you are up next.
Thanks for having me. I am Bonnie MacWalter, and I am a certified health and wellness coach. I work more with sustainable nutrition, helping people optimize their health through a lot of education, habit change, mindset, and working really with the big rocks, as we like to say, which is all the big things, and we build off that, and then we throw a little bit of sand and work on the smaller things to get you to find your optimal health.
I love that. And I just mentioned how excited I was about having the biggest group of guests ever. So we had to add one more because why wouldn't we do that? So Gail, thank you so much for being able to hop in. We're just kind of sharing a little bit about ourselves. So I'd love it if you would tell the audience a little bit about you.
Hi, thanks so much, Claudia, for having me on. And my name is Gail Suitor. I am CEO and founder of Ignite Changemakers. And I have sort of a dual mission based on sort of my life experience, which is neurodiversity and also, intuitive services. So I act as a medium. I'm a direct channel for a group of spirit guides, as I call them, called the Council, who like to talk a lot about how the earth is changing from dichotomies, meaning day, night, male, female, all of that, to unity and oneness. So great messages from them. And that's it. I'm just happy to be here.
So people are probably wondering how I gathered this amazing group of women. So I'm going to share a little bit about that. We refer to ourselves as the Super Women, and we have a group that meets weekly where we encourage one another, help one another out with our businesses, give advice, vent, talk through things. And so what I really wanted for us to share today is why we're super women, because we all are in our own right, but what makes each of us super women? So Erika, what do you feel like makes you a super woman, and why do people need to know you?
Great question. I would say one of the things that makes me a superwoman in regards to my profession is I am amazing at asking the right questions to really get to the root of what's going on. So, as far as why someone needs to know me, I feel like if you're looking for a way to really get to what is going on and clear it, I'm your girl.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned asking the right questions, because I know that quite often when we're working with somebody, or even just, starting a friendship, we like to talk a lot more than we like to listen quite often. And so listening is first and foremost really important, but asking the right things to listen to is even more important to be able to make those connections. So I really appreciate that you mentioned that. Laura, tell us what makes you a superwoman.
Um, Great question. I have a gift to really see the strengths and talents of other people, and I enjoy pulling that out and helping them see it too. I'm also a lover of learning, continually learning, and always using that knowledge and skills and expertise to, again, pull it out of other people and help them see their own gifts and talents and help them move towards the best version of themselves.
I love that. The theme I'm already noticing, which I'm sure is going to continue, is that we're here to help people. Both of you have talked about doing things that will help other people better themselves. Gail, I feel like you're going to continue that trend. What makes you a superwoman?
Well, first of all, I have to apologize. I'm actually in an elementary school and it's recess time. So if you hear a lot of pitter patter in the background, that is what's going on. Although it could be a symbolism of what goes on in my head. But anyway, no. In similar ways, I feel like my superpower is being able to see people's life purpose and value. And I utilize my intuitive skills to sort of tap into with permission, tap into their sort of soul guides and help them clarify what their soul is here to learn and how they can utilize that in their everyday life.
Excellent. You mentioned something about with permission. So I'm going to come back to that in a second. First, I want to ask Bonnie, tell us what makes you a superwoman?
This is a good and hard question. I think that I just have a passion for empowering people to be their best. And, like Erika said, asking a lot of questions and really letting people feel comfortable speaking with me and sharing that space and giving them the space to, in a way, find out what it is that they need healing from, with the help of, and a lot of habit changes through that. And I just think I'm just so passionate about good conversation and just wanting people to get to their absolute best.
Something that you mentioned earlier was kind of working on a person and taking, first filling in the big rocks and then the sand and creating, something where you can fill up that jar, is how I'm envisioning it,
Yeah.
with all the necessary pieces. What led you to want to do that? Because so many people focus on, just the rocks, or just one rock, or just a little bit of sand. So what made you want to help people fill that whole jar?
Well, I have a passion for nutrition. And, nutrition is, yes, it's your food. But really, it's taking everything in your lifestyle that makes up who you are, your sleep patterns, your hydration, your relationships, your work, your stressors. Do you have kids? And all of these things that make up your full-time life, you form habits through them. And it's kind of bounces into nutrition and why we formed the habits of, are you a binge eater? Are you a stress eater? It's hard for me to explain, but so many things make up your life, and the habits and patterns that you've created And so we kind of, the big rocks are those, are you getting sleep? That's number one. It affects everything. And building off, I love habit stacking, and building off forming really good habits and being able to grow on those and fill in with the smaller things that, you can fix very easily, but the big ones are your foundation.
I want to ask you real quick about the habit stacking, because I think people have different beliefs when it comes to new habits. You hear some people say, only start one new thing at a time. People say 21 days and your new habit will be created. So what are your thoughts around how we can build good, strong habits for ourselves?
I personally believe that you start slow. It depends on the personality of the person too. Like, I'm working right now with someone who's like, I can only handle one thing a week. Great. But she's getting better and better at that one thing. So each time we add another thing. And I don't know that there's a necessary time. They say, oh, it takes a certain amount of time to have that habit. And then, no, it takes a lot of awareness and just working on it every day. Sometimes I'll have people put notes on their refrigerator to be like, did I do these things? It's almost, we play a game almost, because there's so much outside noise that you kind of have to get focused in. And at the end of the day, check in with yourself. And if certain things aren't being done each week that are goals of yours that you want to make habits, then to look at that fridge and be like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be 1% better. And that's a huge thing I believe in, being 1% better. And that's what habit stacking is, getting those core habits as a foundation and building off them to be better.
I really appreciate that you said that 1% better, because something that I really believe in is like the 51% rule. And that is that we don't always have to be 100% ready to do something. We just have to be 51%, just a little more ready than not ready, a little more fearless than fearful. So I appreciate that you work on a similar kind of mindset with people in just that incremental growth. Gail, I want to pop back over to you, because you talked about, working with spirit guides and receiving messages for people. And you mentioned with permission. And I think that's so important for so many reasons. But what it made me think about was that we want to help people that don't want to be helped, or they're not ready to be helped. So that's what I thought about when you said with permission. What is it like for you, when you have these messages or you have this information for somebody, but they don't want to hear it? They're not ready to accept it and to listen to what you have to say that could really be life-changing for them.
Yeah, that's been a really interesting part of my journey as a intuitive medium and also a healer. And oftentimes when I would hear about individuals struggling with a health problem or a certain issue, and for me, when I have a message or I will call it an energy that is sort of reaching out to that person, it often feels like anxiety, or it's like a surge of energy, or even like when you get a hit from like adrenaline. And I used to want to just tap in. And really what I've learned as I've gone through this process is that you have to have permission, because not everybody feels like they need to be fixed, or that they need to be helped, or that what they're going through is something that they want to fix. Or in addition, some people don't even believe in this stuff. I have to say, I was a really healthy skeptic, and it was a real struggle to like bring that into my life. And so I think with whatever superpower you have, right? With whatever you knowledge or expertise or the frequency of consciousness that you bring in, it always has to be with permission when you engage with somebody else. And I think that's physically, mentally, spiritually, permission is the key to the whole thing. And some people are here to learn about, like their souls are here to learn about suffering, or there's a real lesson in that health problem, or that health problem is going to lead them to a person that they need to meet. So to make a judgment on someone's journey is just that. It's a judgment. Like we don't have any idea what the universe is bringing forward for those people. And so I think it also has given me a bit of relief for feeling like not responsible or not, just like honoring everybody's choices has been really helpful. And one thing that I appreciate about the whole permission thing is if I have an entity that is trying to talk to someone, usually it's like a past relative that's passed over or something like that. If I ask permission and that person says no, I can say no to that entity and they can't be knocking on my door all the time. But if I sort of put off making that connection, they continue to knock on the door. So I've also learned to just be brave. And if you're in the grocery store and you're getting that feeling, to just like ask permission instead of just like, I'm not going to do it. You need to find somebody else, because they just keep going. So, so I love the permission piece for myself and for others. And and for life, right? Most things happen where there's trauma because there wasn't permission, right?
Do you ever wish that you could just put up a do not disturb sign?
Yeah, there's some energies are much more insistent than others. So I can still be like, not now, and it does dissipate, but it's like as soon as you transition to something else, then it's like a dog. Like, what about now? Is now okay? It's like so I can put up the do not disturb, but if it only really totally dissipates once I find out either I deliver the message or I don't have permission, and then they really like leave me alone, which is great. Yeah.
You mentioned that you yourself were a healthy skeptic, before you really started honing your skills and your gift. And then you also just said, you might be walking through the grocery store and you get a message for somebody in the cereal aisle that you maybe have never seen before. How difficult is it to approach people knowing that you yourself were such a skeptic and that you have no idea what is getting ready to come back at you when you approach these people?
Yeah, that has been the hardest piece of the whole thing, because also I think, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but I have ADHD and dyslexia. So I also have a really active inner critic that is always willing to jump in and say, oh, here's another time you're being weird, or like, this isn't appropriate kind of thing. And so I have to sort of balance that with the knowing that it's for a purpose, it's for a greater purpose. And I think the history of being a healthy skeptic really helps me not, like if somebody's like, no, I don't believe in that stuff, I totally get it. So I don't take it personally. I'm like, great, got the message, moving on kind of thing. So it's, everybody's journey unfolds in a way that it needs to unfold for you to be able to live out your life's purpose. So it's been fun to see how all of those different pieces of the puzzles of my life, like things that I haven't finished, or whatever, all of the sudden, I'm 57 now, it's almost like a magnetized puzzle. All of those pieces are like chinking together, and every experience I can now see happen for me instead of to me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so that also helps me honor other people's journey when they say, no, I don't want the message. The weird thing too is I don't know what the message is that I'm going to deliver to them. So sometimes it would be something that I would never, like, of course, never say to a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have comfort in the fact that it's always love and light and purpose-driven messages. It's never been like malicious or evil or anything like that. So that helps with that awkwardness, but it never goes away. It's awkward, period. Yeah, but maybe that's why I was neurodiverse too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to being awkward.
So what I'm hearing is, for those of you watching, you can see what Gail looks like. If you're listening, go to the thumbnail so you can see what she looks like. If she approaches you in the grocery store, let her tell you whatever it is that she needs to tell you. Just believe in that moment and let her share with you. Erika, I want to pop back over to you and talk a little bit about what led you to your work, because I know that you were kind of on a path and you changed gears just a little bit. You shifted into hypnotherapy rather than licensing because you felt drawn to do that. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about what encouraged you to make that shift.
Well, it actually happened in my second year of grad school. And one of the chapters in one of the books that we had to read was about hypnosis. And that's all she wrote for me. I read it and I wanted to know more. And it just seemed at the time, the more that I was reading about it, it just really seemed to me like this would be the path that ultimately for me would be the right decision as far as how I can help the people I'm meant to help. So yeah, I went the untraditional route. I still graduated, still got my master's. But then I graduated on Friday. Monday, I started hypnotherapy school. And it was just so intriguing reading and hearing about what the subconscious mind and what the subconscious mind really is and how it affects everything we do, literally everything. And it oftentimes will uncover the root of whatever the problem is. So I'm like, okay, if I'm trying to help people, I want to get to the root of it, help them clear it so that they can get to whatever the goal is. So to answer your question, the reason why I chose it was it just seemed like the quickest way to get to what I wanted and what my clients would want. I'm always looking for the easiest and the quickest way to do things.
How does that work with people? Because, therapy, and I'm presuming hypnotherapy to an extent, is not immediate. I think maybe with hypnotherapy, sometimes the results can be immediate. But if they're not, how do you continue to work with somebody and continue to lift them up and let them know that results are coming? Sometimes you have to be patient.
So the interesting thing about hypnotherapy, they may not necessarily experience that result right away, but they will experience the feeling of it. So when I'm working with them, they will experience the confidence that it takes to get to that goal. They will experience, wow, I feel calm and relaxed, when before they were feeling anxious and nervous and depressed. So they will experience the feeling immediately. And that typically is the reason why they keep coming back, because they're like, if I feel this way now, what is it going to be like in 2 or 3 sessions? And typically, it only takes about 2 to 3 sessions for one issue. Now, if it's complex, that's a whole different thing, but if it is something, like, let's say smoking takes 2 to 3 sessions. Um, let's say they have anger issues, you know, that one session, they will literally experience a whole different feeling. And they're like, wait a minute, I feel this way now. I would love to continue this on. Anxiety is the big one because a lot of times when someone experiences anxiety, that's all they feel or all they remember feeling.
Mhm.
So in that moment when they're feeling calm and relaxed, it's kind of unnerving to them, but at the same time, it's like, whoa, I really like how this feels. So they'll continue on with me.
So what I find so interesting about that is with these kind of results, why aren't more people turning to hypnotherapy? Because I feel like you could solve a lot of people's problems and take a lot less time than some other methods. Why do you think there aren't more people just saying, yes, this is what I need to do?
One word, stigma.
Mhm.
It is the stigma behind hypnosis and what has been portrayed on movies and on TV and stage hypnosis. Oftentimes, I will have a client who's never heard of hypnosis. Someone, was like, hey, you should try this out. Immediately in their mind's like, oh, she's going to have me quack like a duck.
Mhm.
And, they're like, are you going to make me quack like a duck? And I'm like, only if you want me to make you quack like a duck. I can't make you do anything that you want to do. Oftentimes, when people think about hypnosis, they think of mind control. Like,
Mhm.
you're going to force me to do something that I don't want to do. And it's not the case at all. So, a lot of the time in the first session, it's educating them on what hypnosis really is versus what they've seen on TV.
I mean, some of the stuff on TV is very entertaining, I will say. I don't necessarily want to quack like a duck, but it could be fun. So we'll leave that on the table as a possibility. Um, what what do you think people can do to feel more comfortable if they are going to come see somebody like you? What can they do ahead of time to sort of prep themselves and walk in, a little more comfortable, less stressed, ready to go?
Okay, so I would say it's really nothing other than just having an open mind. Even if they were to read some things on, Google or whatever, some of it's misinformation. So, what I would suggest if someone is thinking about going, for a hypnotherapy session, just be open. Just be open. You don't even have to be relaxed. You can be nervous, but by the time it starts, you will start relaxing. Especially if you go to someone who is, who has, experience and enough training underneath them. Don't go to someone who got a weekend certification. Don't do
Don't
it.
come to me. Don't come to me. Can anyone be hypnotized?
Yes. So everyone, what I like to say is hypnotherapy or hypnosis is just a form of trance. It's a state of deep relaxation. So you're in a trance when you're watching TV. You're in a trance when you're driving. Everyone goes into trance. So hypnosis or a hypnotherapy session is just a formal version of that. So to answer your question, yes, everyone can be hypnotized.
Nice. All right. I feel a group session coming on. Laura, I want to turn back to you. She of very few words in our earlier conversation. So now's the time we're going to dig in a little deeper. I want to know what led you to want to help other people. There's so many things that we can do in life, and it takes a special person to do something that serves others. What led you down that path?
Oh, that's a deep question. I appreciate that. I haven't thought about that in a while. I think sometimes we can identify really specific things that lead us down a path, and sometimes maybe kind of like what Gail was talking about too. You just it's something you can't shut down or quiet, right? It's I when I went into social work, I didn't even know what a social worker was really, and then that led me to learning more about that, and then as you learn, I didn't understand that social workers were mental health clinicians. We come most of the times, and so just and then I ended up in school social work for a long time, right? And so there's just all these things that come together that were like, oh, this is the perfect place for me. I knew I liked to teach, so teaching, and I have a sister has a learning disability, and so I helped her a lot when I was very young, always with that, and got a close understanding of what that experience was like. And so the school social work was perfect combination, right? And then with schools, um, started with directly working with children and families, but then I got to work with the system piece of it. How do we build more resilient systems that help everybody within them? The children within them, the staff within them, the parents that are bringing their children there, and the public too that are investing in our schools help build up better people. And when we have better systems, can just bring out those strengths, because sometimes our systems can be really damaging. And while that's not intended, if we don't pay attention to it, and if we don't intentionally create them in a way that helps people, then we have lots of consequences, unintended consequences to deal with around that. So, and that interest speaks to that lover of learning and the nerdy data part. I like to see progress and then put it in hard numbers too, right? So to be able to show people. But all of it, the root of it is to help people live a better quality of life, to see their strengths and gifts, and be here to enjoy and create.
And make spreadsheets, which is always
And
fun.
make spreadsheets.
I love that. You talked about mental health, and one of the things that we talk about a lot on this podcast is mental health, mental wellness, but also the stigma, which I think is improving. But for a long time, it wasn't okay to get help. In certain cultures, it's not okay to get help, and for men, a lot of times in certain professions. What are you seeing as far as those trends, and is it becoming a little bit easier for people to reach out for help when they feel like they need it?
Yes, I think we're moving in the right direction, certainly with this, that there's much more information about mental health. There's less stigma. There is a lot more education just around mental wellness. And also, again, that system piece, I think corporations are paying a lot better attention to wellness in the work environment. And, that's so important, because when we feel our best, we do our best work. So yeah, I think with that helps, corporations provide good healthcare where you can access mental health services. Certainly, there's still a massive discrepancy and disparity on who is able to access the services. But yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction with that, and things that are much more open now, such as meditation. Even 10 to 15 years ago, that was very kind of weird to talk about in a way, right? Self-care was not something that your hotels were sending information about 10 years ago. There is certainly improvement that we mental health is just as important as our physical health. I think if we can start to think of, we don't wait until we're terribly, terribly ill to go to the doctor, right? There's no stigma about going to a primary care physician, about something getting closer to that place of, it's okay to go for a checkup, right? To have a therapist for a checkup every 3 to 6 months. So we're moving there, but I think this helps talking about it, right? Making it okay. Yeah.
You mentioned self-care, and I agree that that has become really kind of one of the newer buzzwords. We talk a lot about self-care, but there's still a big, I think, misunderstanding or just an unknowing of what does that mean? For some people, I'm going to take a bubble bath, and for me, that's self-care. And then other people say, no, no, that's not your self-care. It has to be XYZ. So, will you talk a little bit about what is self-care for people and what do people need to be doing for themselves?
Great question. It can look very different for everyone. For some people, yes, bubble baths are relaxing, journaling is relaxing, meditation is relaxing. Sometimes meditation is more stressful. So if that's you, that's okay. That's not your thing, and that's fine. For some, problem solving feels good, right? Sudoku, crossword puzzles, like logic things, those sort of get you in a mode where you accomplish things and you get to problem solve. Dancing, movement's really important, I think, in with that mind-body connection, that we need to do things that move. So whether it's dancing, walking, playing sports where it's social, I think in general, self-care is thinking about what do you enjoy doing, and are you intentionally making time for that in your day and week? And they don't have to be long, extensive, hours and hours of things, right? Sometimes it's just moments. Certainly some mindfulness techniques of breathing in the moments, especially in between. If you have a busy schedule with lots of meetings, taking a few moments to do a breathing technique or a relaxation technique, those things are helpful to regulate your nervous system and stuff. But also just building activities that bring you joy. And that those can be individual. Oftentimes that's important. But for many, those are all social, right? Self-care is social too, and most people need a combination. So I think it's, take a look at your schedule. Is there a matter of, are there activities in there that you enjoy? And if not, how do you create and add more to your schedule with that?
Let's talk about that schedule for a second because, a lot of us look at our schedules, whether it's on paper or in our phones or all of the above, and it's filled with, meetings and appointments and people say, oh, you should schedule your workouts, you should schedule your self-care. Do you recommend that, or for people that are already stressed with a schedule, could that actually make them more stressed because now they have to add something else to their schedule?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. Again, different people need varying levels of structure. Structure can be helpful when we have routines, then we aren't constantly make decisions. So if we have certain routines and habits, it can reduce our decision fatigue. I think what, Bonnie talked earlier about habit stacking. Sometimes maybe it's not really connected to something in our schedule, but it's connected to a habit that we already have. So if it's when you walk through the door, maybe you're really good at putting your keys away on the key hook and then taking 5 deep breaths, right? Or maybe if your habit is that you're wanting to focus on cleaning, you're really good at brushing your teeth. I'm going to brush my teeth and I'm going to pick up 5 things. So I think connecting something to an anchor habit that you already have well is helpful. And I think that can be a way where you don't have to schedule it in. Sometimes it can be a matter of what to eliminate from your schedule, right? What is not bringing you joy? What is extremely draining? Certainly there are things that you have responsibilities around that you may not be able to remove, but can you shift it just a little bit to maybe change your thinking around it to make that connect to your meaning and values. So when you see that you're living in alignment, when you're following through in your responsibilities, that can uplift your energy when you can come back to that thought. So it's tricky. Sometimes it's about the actions of what you take out of your schedule, what you add. Sometimes a matter of changing your mindset around how you think about that activity and the feeling. Erika talked about that too. Like, how do you practice a different feeling when you engage in an activity? So those are kind of the three different ways you can approach things with those thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Love it. So one of the things that I love about this group is we are very supportive of one another. You know, we're all on different paths in life. We have similar goals that we want to help other people, but we have different ways of doing it. I know there's still a big issue with women competing with one another, with wanting to shut other women down, with wanting to see them fail so that they can succeed, even though the paths are totally different. You know, they're on different tracks, and so they can both succeed. So it's been really nice for me to have this group where we really do want to see each other succeed. So, Gail, I want to start with you. You know, how has it been for you to have a group of supportive women, you know, cheering you on? And what do you think other people can learn about the benefits of having some girl bosses around you?
You know, I think the best part of this group and us working together has been to see everyone else in their power. And for me, that's the easy part of like seeing everybody's potential and everybody's purpose and all of that. But it's hard for me to see that in myself. So to surround myself with women who are here to make an impact and change the world, it allows me. It's like a reflection. So it's giving me a reflection of myself in a way that is easier for me to accept or translate or whatever it is, because like your energy, your girl boss energy also ignites my girl boss energy. And I also am like, wow, that's a great idea. Brilliant. And the more I learn about the frequencies of changing and transforming lower frequency energies, that's what I call it, which is like sadness, depression, fear, it's all about co-creating. So when people come together to co-create or to help each other, it lifts everyone's frequency. Whereas if you put in competition and comparison, that lowers everybody's frequency. So to me, I feel like I've found a group of women that are operating on a higher level frequency that lifts me up. And I think that that's how everyone should evaluate the people they're involved in. Is that person lifting you up? Do they see you? Do they like envision you better than you envision yourself? Right? Because that's what co-creating is all about. And I just want to say how much I appreciate, love, and just filled with gratitude for my time with you guys. It's amazing. So thank you for that.
I think I can speak for all of us in saying we appreciate our time with you as well. Bonnie, what was the scariest thing for you in becoming a part of this group? You know, what gave you a moment of hesitation in saying, yes, I want to spend my Wednesdays with this crazy group of ladies?
I didn't have any reservation. You know, we all met through Zoom. We're all in different parts of the country or different states. And I look forward to my time every week where this is a different family for me. We've all gotten very vulnerable at some point with each other, and having that non-judgmental, we don't know every detail about each other's lives. We just know the authentic selves that are coming on this Zoom, here to support each other, to lift each other up, to give, I do believe in constructive criticism when someone asks for it, and we've given that. And there's no reservation. I think one of the best feelings is having other people want to empower other people and bring out their best light. And that's what this group has done. And we all come from a space of wanting to help people. And I don't think there's anything more pure. So it's a group full of love, and I'm so grateful to have met you ladies, and I look forward to it every week. And, just even being able to do this call, it's very out of my comfort zone. So it's great to be challenged, and I feel like I get challenged in different ways with you ladies.
I love that. And nothing scary, so that's even better.
Well, I'm kind of freaking out and hide something from being a little nervous. If I see myself, I'm like, oh,
Well, again, I'm going to speak for everybody. You look amazing, so don't even worry about that. Erika, what is one thing that you have seen grow or change in yourself from being a part of a supportive group like this?
Oh, wow. You know how to ask those questions.
She's good.
She is. I would say, as someone who I would call myself a born again ex-competitive person, I guess I would say I'm speaking for, those women who feel like they have to compete. I come from a military background, so it was very much like that. Like, you're competing, you want to be the best. No, I'm the best. I'm the best. So it was that kind of mindset with that. Coming into this group, I feel like, one, like Bonnie said, being able to be vulnerable and it not being seen as a weakness. Instead, it's like a safe space to be able to say, hey, I'm kind of struggling with this. I have this, but I don't know which way to go with it. And really having a group of women being able to like surround you and say, okay, that's, we understand it. And just giving you pointers and stuff, but not in a like pointing finger type of way. It has really helped me with letting my guard down. I also look forward to this, coming on this, every single week. I'm one of those women who don't have a lot of female friends. Wonder why. But being able to come on here and spend time with you ladies is just been, words really can't even express how grateful I am about it. And also the accountability. Like, I feel like the time frame that I've been with you ladies, I've gotten more done than doing it on my own. And I think that's a big thing too. You get so much more done when you have a group of supportive, like-minded, women who are just there for you versus trying to, go out on your own and just do everything yourself. Yeah. So that I would definitely say that's what has changed me, and that's what I have gotten from the group. And that's just a small part of it.
Laura, hopefully everyone in the audience right now is thinking that this is something they need to do if they're not already doing it. They need to find a supportive group, whether it's, right there in their community or all over the country. What are some tips or advice that you would give people who are thinking, I need to find my supportive group of women, my super women. Now what do I do?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Great question. I feel like I got the hardest one, Claudia. No.
That's because I know you can handle it.
Um, I think it starts with a little bit of internal work, right? What are you seeking and hoping to get with the group? Kind of what are your values? So you're clear on that. Erika talked about accountability. Is that a piece that you want with it? Inspiration, uh, support, certainly a safe and supportive environment. So kind of making your list and having knowing what you're looking for to begin with, and set that intention. Right, and then we have to take some action too. So if certainly if you have interests of things that's going to be a good good thing to add to your list to find your right community. And this can be in a variety of ways. For some people, through church. For some people, it's meetups in book clubs. For many, it's the gym, right? Yoga communities. That can be a variety of ways, but when it's paired with an interest, I think that helps a lot. And then consistency, right? You got to keep at it. Oftentimes things don't happen instantly. Sometimes they do, and that is fabulous. It's so amazing. But a lot of times you're going to have to persist with that desire to connect with your community, and keep going to places, keep trying to meet people, keep trying to find the right community that to plug into, to find what's right for you.
I absolutely love that. And I want to add that it's important to find people that push you. It would be very easy for us all to find a group that are comfortable where they're at, and they could all just sit around and say, no, this is great. I don't want to try anything new. No, that's too scary. Let's all just sit here. So that's not the right group. I just want to say, make sure that you're in a group that pushes you, that helps you step outside your comfort zone, and that helps you learn about yourself, to be able to take that constructive criticism, to be able to break down the barriers and learn new things about yourself. So I do also want to quickly add, our group is closed, so I know everybody out there probably wants to come in and hang out with us. Unfortunately, that you won't be able to do that, but we're willing to help you find your people. We're going to change it up a little bit here before I let you guys go, and we are going to talk about something that is out of some of your comfort zones and in a few of our comfort zones, and that is tattoos. I, as you all know, love tattoos. Normally I have my next tattoo planned, and I don't right now, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I want to ask each of you a couple tattoo questions. Bonnie, I'm going to start with you. You have some amazing tattoos. I would love to know, what is your most meaningful tattoo that you have and why?
Ooh, well, I don't have necessarily one piece. Many tattoos. It's one piece, basically. Um, but meaningful, I have a lioness on my calf, which represents me, and two cubs on my other calf, which represent my boys. And the placement of how the cubs are, one is kind of hovering on top of the other one. And in every photograph, my older son has his arm around his younger brother or hugging him or something. It kind of naturally happens. So it means a lot to me, just because I am a single mother, and I would do anything for my children, mama bear or a lioness or whatever. So it just seemed fitting for me. I mean, everything on my body is meaningful, and there's a story behind it all. Unfortunately, I ran out of money to continue, but I cannot wait to keep going. So yeah.
What is going to be next?
My happy place is anywhere in the islands, near the ocean with the sunset. I love palm trees. I just dream about it. So I will have a sleeve that is the ocean, palm trees, sunset, sand, with a wrapping of flowers on the bottom, kind of Hawaiian type look. And I am going to Hawaii in July to officiate my friend's wedding. So it seems like that will be the next one. I'm pretty excited.
Love it. Laura, no tattoos yet. I always say yet because you never know. I would love to know, if you were going to get a tattoo, what would you get and where would you put it?
Oh, where would I put it? I really don't know, which has maybe been part of the hesitation.
We can help you. We can help you.
Okay. I think it would be some type of flower design. My nickname was Flower when I was a teenager from my close friends. But also I have 3 sisters whom I love dearly and am very bonded to. So woven in the design, somehow it would have their initials in there as well. So
Is there a reason that you haven't gotten a tattoo? Whether it's pain, money, it's permanent. I think tattoos are trashy. Is there any reason that you have not gotten a tattoo?
I don't know. There was a time when I was really interested in it, and then the interest kind of just left, and yeah, it just didn't. So not any really strong reasons why I haven't, I guess. But maybe I guess the desire to get one wasn't strong enough. I'll put it that way.
Well, we'll ease you into a temporary tattoo, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Erika, another girl with some ink that I love. Tell us, what is your favorite tattoo and why?
So, my favorite tattoo is the one that I recently got, which is is going to be a continuation of some. So I started with sunflowers, and the reason why I chose sunflowers, I wanted to get it for a while, just didn't know how I wanted my sunflowers to look or how I wanted it placed or anything. But the reason why I got sunflowers was a couple of reasons. One of them being, when I was a child, I used to get made fun of for having freckles. I'm a Black girl with freckles. And they used to be like, "Oh, you look like a sunflower." Strawberry shortcake and a sunflower were the 2 things. Well, not getting strawberry shortcake on me. But the sunflower, I feel like, one, the way what it represents, it represents positivity. It's always leaning towards the sun. So I was like, I'm going to get that and turn it into, what it was supposed to demean me, but now have a positive meaning to it. So that is the tattoo that is my most favorite one that I have.
And what is next?
So I'm going to do a whole foliage going from my shoulder down my back and then crossing my back over to my left thigh. So the theme is going to be sunflowers, but I'm going to have little flowers and leaves and vines going through it. So that's what that's what the whole tattoo is going to end up looking like. I'm thinking it's going to take like a year and a half to complete it.
Love it. Gail, so another one of our non-tattooed sisters here, which is fine, plenty of time. If you were going to get a tattoo, what would you get and why?
Well, I did get a temporary tattoo because I did have like this real drive to get a tattoo. And, I was like, well, maybe I should give it a run first. And so I got a butterfly. Everybody gets a butterfly, I guess. But anyway, so it was henna and all of that. And it was only supposed to last for like 10 days or something. I mean, that thing probably lasted 3 months. And I was so sick of it. By the time those 3 months came up, I was like, probably not a good idea. So something with ADHD that really, like, I would say is a double-edged sword in my life is that I love novelty. So, like, when anything becomes the same, like, all the time, it's like, it drives me nuts. I'm like ready for something new. So if I was to get a tattoo, I think it would have to be something that I could build, like transform into something else as it went or something. Do you see what so like it wasn't always the same? Yeah, but the permanence is really, yeah. I mean, even when I got married, I was freaked out about it because it seemed so permanent. So it's like permanence is an issue for me.
I will tell you, you can get rid of the husbands easier and sometimes cheaper than you can get rid of the tattoos. Just saying.
Facts.
You should get a
I
black
kept the
light
husband,
tattoo.
but I got rid of. I kept the husband, but I got rid of the tattoo. Yeah.
I'm thinking black light tattoo. That is something that we need to
tell me more.
investigate for you. Yeah, so it's a different kind of ink, and then so it only shows up under black light. So it's not technically there all the time. And yeah, so you could kind of make it
and
pop
does it
when you
turn
wanted
colors
it to.
depending on the light, or no? It's always the same color.
I don't know the answer to that, but you know, the way technology is going, I feel like there's probably going to be, you know, tattoos that change color or go invisible. I don't know. It's coming.
Yeah.
But what I hear though, you're interested. Does everybody?
Yeah.
I hear the interest. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. I want everybody to know where they can find you guys. So I am sure that so many people in the audience have connected with each of you. Again, no, you cannot join our Superwomen group. So don't email or reach out to any of these ladies with your sob story about why you belong in our group. If you want to reach out to them for another reason, that is okay. So, Laura, if people want to find you, if they want to talk about, you know, a new tattoo, a first tattoo with you, and want to maybe set up the temporary tattoo sesh, where can they find you?
Yeah. They can email me directly at laura@resiliencebrilliance.me, or they can go to my website at resiliencebrilliance.me.
Perfect. Bonnie, if people want to learn how to habit stack or maybe sweat it out at the gym, where can they find you?
Our website is currently being updated, but my coaching name is under Pathway with the number 2 Health, Pathway to Health. And the website is blueprintlifestyles.com, as well as Instagram is Bonnie Mac Nutrition. And then on Facebook, which I have many wonderful groups, it's Bonnie Shays MacWalter.
Perfect. Gail.
I have one more. Sorry.
That's
and
okay.
I'm also on a holistic site called heal.me.
Perfect.
Under my name.
Gail, if people want to talk to you about the blacklight tattoo, or to find out if anyone is knocking at your door with a message for them, where can they find you?
You can find me email-wise, gail@ignitechangemakers.com, or just on my website. You can also contact me through there, and that's just ignitechangemakers.com. And one quick little hint for people who are engaging in medium services, as a skeptic, I do know that there are people that do it for the wrong reasons, may not be really connected, all of that. I think one way to test the information that you're getting, it should always be about light and love, and it should feel like a reminder, like you already knew that, you're just remembering it. So, or it makes you feel up leveled, then I think you can trust the information. But if you like pay $20 and go to a crystal ball person and they're giving you like this journey of dread, I would say don't put too much stock into it.
I love that. So no Miss Cleo and no journey of dreads. Perfect. Erika, if somebody wants to talk to you about hypnotherapy, or if they want to tell you that you are beautiful with your freckles, and screw what those people said growing up, where can they find you?
They can find me at Erika with a K, hypnotherapy.com. They can also find me on Psychology Today, and it's the same, Erika Hypnotherapy.
Perfect. Ladies, thank you so much for spending some time with me today, sharing with the audience some amazing tips and tricks on how they can level up their life, find their own group of amazing women to hang out with, and, do some things that are really going to change them and help others. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media so you'll never miss what's going on. Remember, until next week, you are strong enough and you are worth it. Thank you for listening to the Strong Enough podcast. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform by searching Strong Enough. And on YouTube, we're on the Spear Talk channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Strong Enough Pod. If you have suggestions for an upcoming episode or a future guest, please reach out at strongenoughpod@gmail.com. Remember, you are worth it.